Hey leaders, thank you for leading this Sunday, the last Sunday in October, 29th. 29th is what it is. It is also our last Sunday in our Christian theology series, and we will be talking about God's faithfulness. So we will review the last several weeks of what we believe about the Bible, we believe about God, what we believe about humans, salvation, and now God's faithfulness. And we're actually going to be in Lamentations chapter 3. Chapter 3. And walking through that, the passage 8 verses 18 through 23, and then doing some comparisons from some other passages Mark has pulled out that talk about waiting. And so what do we do in those hard times? That He is faithful, He is there, He is going to help. And sometimes it's our job to wait on Him. So, going to do that. So, our application activities, creative is going to, this is going to be hard, but they can do it. They need to paint the entire page one color, because it is representing when you're in a hard time and you can't see anything else. All you can focus on, everything feels bad, all of that. So the whole page is one color. Any color they choose, but the whole page is one color. We're not painting a picture. But it's not in the lesson. Just had this idea. Prior to painting the page, they could use a Sharpie, it'll have to be a Sharpie, and write Lamentations, or I would put Lamb, 3:22 through 23, and put something like, His great love is new every morning, ... so I will hope in Him. We'll probably put it on the board, but that would be a great reminder of what this is for. So they could write their verse on it and then paint it all one color. They want it to stay damp. It needs to be still wet, because then they're going to come back with another brush. Could be the same brush, depending what size it is. And in clean water, they need to dip this in clean water and then gently tap it over their page so it flicks, because it will then push the pigment out of the way, so that they're going to have white spots show up on their painting, because that represents God is with us. Jesus is working. The Holy Spirit's doing stuff all over the place. We just can't see it. And so we want them to remember that. His love is huge. He's with us in all of this, all of the time. So, like when they finish painting it all blue or all whatever color, if it's got big puddles on it, they will want to like dab those up a little bit. But like if their whole page is dry by the time they finish, they're going to want to go back with their original paintbrush, clean it out some, and then just re-dampen the whole thing. Not soaked, but it still needs to be wet. Then clean water, clean brush, tap it over it so it kind of splatters. There will be splatters. You will need paper towels. All right, so that is our creative. And then we've done this before. I'd like it to be a little bit more complex this time on the floor. So it's the hidden maze. They are going to work in 2 teams. And you want it difficult enough that the chances of them figuring it out is not very high. So this will be your key so that you can remember what your path is. You're going to draw a path out for getting across the grid. Grid will be on the floor. And team 1 is going to go first. Somebody from that team will take a step, and if they get it right, they get to try another step, so on and so forth. If they get it wrong, they go to the end of their line and the next student tries. The teammates can help them to remember it. So after a team gets 3 bad steps, 3 wrong attempts, then trade teams and let the other team start. After they go, and they're going to need their own path. So you're going to have one of these for team 1 and one of these Well, I have them all sitting here. One of these for team 2 that you're going to come up with. So they're going to get mixed in their head, and that's fine. So after they've had some attempts, they're starting to get frustrated. You can ask them if they want a true hint, and if they say yes, then you can tell them what their next step is. If they say no, let them struggle, and make sure you end early enough that you have time to debrief and talk, because you need to link this to the lesson. And you can talk about, how does your body feel when you get frustrated? The things I've written down are, how does your body feel when you're in a hard situation? And you can share with them how you feel physically when you're in a hard situation. Do you get sweaty? Do you get cold sweat? Does your stomach hurt? Does your brain just start spinning and you can't stop it? All of that. Do you just get angry? Have you ever been in a time when it felt like that a lot? Like it just wouldn't get better? So this is going to require you to share some. Leaders in our creative, same type of conversation can occur. And then just the reminder that God is faithful. He is true and worthy of our trust. We're going to use that phrase a lot. He is true and worthy of our trust. He will help us. He is helping us even when we can't see it and it doesn't feel like it. And then you can tell them, did I let you wander the path and get eaten by crocodiles? No. But you did let them make missteps. You let them have the choice of where to go. But similar, but not just like God. You can see them. You're watching them. They are safe. They are okay. But you're not going to step in and fix it unless they want help. And so God's going to do that in different ways, just like we're going to do that in different ways. And that's going to look different. God's not always going to, like if you're crying out for help, he's not always going to send a helicopter to come and just fix everything right that minute. It may take some course corrections. It may take some time. And there may be some bad consequences on the way. There may be stuff going on that is not fun. Sometimes it's consequences from your choices. Sometimes you're experiencing consequences from other people's choices. But he is there with you. He is there with us in all of it. He loves you, and he is willing to help you, and he is wrapping you up that entire time. So that's our lesson for this week. Those are our application activities. Thank you for leading.